You're now listening to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. And now your hosts, Christian and Kris, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports.
What is good? What is good, everybody? Welcome to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. This is episode 11. And I said 11 as like 11. Like almost 11:30. Yes, this is episode 11. And then we got a great treat for y'all. What we are doing this time is we are talking about those sleepers, dog. Those sleepers. The ones that you should be considering up in the late rounds of this NFL draft that's coming up. I know everybody's getting close to drafting and everything.
It's draft season.
But how you feeling over there, Mr. Kris?
I am doing well. What up, my good people? Shalom Alchem to you, to everyone. And if you don't know what that means, that is peace be unto you in Hebrew. So I want to give my peace and blessings to everyone. I've been working on a new intro. That's going to be my intro. Shalom Alchem to everyone. And if you're a bad person, shalom Alchem to you too. So maybe you can become good.
Hey, man. There's some bad people out there.
I know, right? So they need some peace.
But when
they need it.
Yeah, and you want to know something? There's some bad drafters up in y'all's draft too. So take advantage of
Right.
it. Take advantage of it.
Take advantage of them.
Definitely got to take advantage of them. But yeah, this is episode 11, the sleepers. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some guys who we think who y'all should be considering in this year 2023 draft, and for redraft and for dynasty. So we're going to get this thing going, and let's talk about the sleepers. All right, Mr. K. Camp, your first sleeper that you have is Mr. Jeff Wilson Jr.
All right, people, bear with me. So, now this is contingent on Jonathan Taylor not signing with the Dolphins, obviously, right? He's not there yet, so we're going to assume that he's not going to be with the Dolphins. So, if he's not with the Dolphins, Jeff Wilson is, what is his underdog ADP? I'm going to use underdog. Can you find it out for me, Christian? His underdog ADP. So Jeff Wilson, he received more guaranteed money. He will be the week one starter, provided JT is not there. He knows Mike's system, and he's efficient, and he's 27 years old. We already know that Raheem Mostert can't stay healthy, and he's 31. And last year, Jeff Wilson finished as RB2 in 53% of his games, which was better than AK. So I just think that with the plethora of running backs that they have there in Miami, and if they don't get JT, Jeff Wilson will be a sleeper. What's his ADP? You got to pull it up.
He is RB 52 right now.
RB 52.
Yeah.
So I think Jeff Wilson, that'd be a great sleeper for somebody to sleep on. Somebody to get deep later in the draft.
Okay. I like that. And for my sleeper, I know a lot of y'all been seeing what he's been doing already in the preseason. And we are going down to that nice little city in Duval. I'm talking about Mr. Tank Bigsby, y'all. I'm talking about the rookie straight out of Auburn. That is one guy who you should be considering, even though right now we already know what he's been doing, and hearing from the coach, he's starting to carve himself a nice role just to even take on more advantage of what he's doing right now. Right now, for up in Underdog's ADP, he is ranked RB 40. RB 40, and that his average draft position is around, it's letting us know around 120, which is roughly which is roughly like around 10 and 11, which personally, I think he's personally going to outperform that
Mm-hmm.
easily based off of what he's been doing already up in the preseason. So if you have not considered taking Bisbee up earlier than the 10th and then 11th round, you should consider it because he can end up being that RB3 tier running back for you that could potentially do RB2 numbers this year, I think personally. So next up, we have Mr. K Camp has Mr. Hayden Hurst. Mr. Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst. Okay.
Talk to us about Mr. Hayden Hurst.
So let's talk about Hayden Hurst. So Hayden Hurst, we know he's with the Carolina Panthers, right? And we know what's most quarterbacks' best friend, right? Their go-to when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, your tight end. And what does a rookie need? The rookie needs a good tight end. So I'm going with Hayden Hurst. He can lead. I think he can lead the team in targets and receptions, and he'll be a great rookie target for Bryce Young. His current ADP is tight end 27. So I think he can outperform that. You got Tyler Conklin in front of him. I think he could be Hunter Henry, Dawson Knox, Taysom Hill. So I think he can pass that tight end 27. Let everybody sleep on Hayden Hurst, but you don't sleep on Hayden Hurst.
Y'all don't sleep. I know this episode is about these sleepers, dog, but do not sleep on Hayden Hurst. So he had Mr. Hayden Hurst at tight end. So I'm gonna bring another tight end from the same division. I'm talking about Mr. Juwan Johnson. I know y'all might have seen him before in these previous episodes. And if you didn't, go and check out the previous episodes that we talked about, like the must-haves. Mr. Juwan Johnson is a guy who is a sleeper, I think, personally. I'm really high on Mr. Juwan Johnson now because currently right now his ADP is currently at tight end 19. And I know there's a lot of people out there that actually plays up in those super flex leagues, and then those tight end premiums. So if you're playing up in a tight end premium and based off where he's getting drafted, he's tight end 19 and his ADP is 166.3.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that? Roughly around 14, 15 where he's going? Maybe 16? Oh no, I can't do the math right now off the top of my head, but he's going up in the later rounds. I think around 13. Yeah, around 13, 14. So with him going in rounds 13 and 14, the one thing that we have to realize this year is that Mr. Juwan Johnson has Derek Carr coming over. And when Derek Carr was playing for the Las Vegas Raiders, he was big up on tight ends. And I don't know if anybody has watched any of the preseason games with the Saints and the first team starters. His go-to guy who he has been looking at on the regular has been Mr. Juwan Johnson.
Hey.
And like what we talked about before, quarterbacks like to have that go-to target, that blanket guy. And we do know that the New Orleans Saints does have other wide receivers out there like Mr. Michael Thomas, who is finally healthy back. Then he also has Mr. Chris Olave. And then up in the backfield, they have Mr. Alvin Kamara. But you still need your blanket in Mr. Juwan Johnson. I think Mr. Juwan Johnson is going to end up doing great things this year for you. So be on the lookout in those later rounds. Go and try to grab Mr. Juwan Johnson so he can lead you to a nice fantasy football championship. So up next, we decided to stay up in the tight end realm, y'all. We decided to stay up in the tight ends. So, Mr. K Camp, you got Mr. Jake Ferguson in here. Let's hear something about Mr. Jake Ferguson.
Okay, so Jake Ferguson, he's tight end 20, right behind Juwan Johnson. Dalton Schultz is gone, right? So who's going to get those targets? Next up, Jake Ferguson. Dak has already praised him, and Dak is anticipating a breakout. I'm not sure if that's all talk. We're going to roll with it. We're going to understand that. He had 3 catches in the season opener, and he's a tight end 1 for the Cowboys. So don't sleep on Jake Ferguson. I think he can do something. I think he can outperform his ADP at tight end 20 this year with Schultz gone.
Okay. It seemed like we getting close to being the numbers. It seemed like we went and found some gems down there up in the tight end position in the areas. because I am bringing up another tight end, and a lot of people. I don't know if y'all been listening to the other episodes, but your boy, right now, I am high on these rookie tight ends coming out
Yeah,
of
buddy.
this year. I'm really high on these rookie tight ends. So I had to bring up one of the sleepers who I think y'all should be also targeting is Mr. Luke Musgrave for the Green Bay Packers. And the reason why I'm saying you need to target this fellow, Mr. Luke Musgraves, is because of the praise he's been getting from the coaching staff already. Talking about this dude can end up being
Roller.
now. I'm not comparing him to this player, but
Uh-oh.
people have been comparing him to.
Uh-oh.
Is he like Mr. Travis Kelce S?
Oh, whoa.
And I'm like, whoa, that's kind of some high praise for a rookie.
Right. That's the first time I
And
heard that.
yes, like there've been big talks on like saying like, is he like Travis Kelce S when it comes to his as he's been like doing training camp and everything. But also, what a lot of people don't realize too, as well, is like who is his QB. We all know who his QB is, and that's Mr. Jordan Love. And we know what Jordan Love ended up doing. He sat behind Mr. Aaron Rodgers for the past couple years, so he got that expert toolage. But we already know Aaron Rodgers ain't teach him anything because that's just the way Aaron Rodgers is. But he had to learn from his vision and then doing his mental reps. Jordan Love been doing mental reps for the past 2 years
2 years or 3 years?
until
Is it 2?
I think it's
Is it 2 or 3?
probably 3.
Probably 3.
But
Just
I'm
like he
talking
said
about
behind
like
Brett. That is funny.
yeah, and the one thing about us knowing that with Jordan Love being its first year as a number one starter, he's gonna need that blanket person, just like what all QBs need. And Mr. Luke Musgrave has the potential to end up outperforming his ADP, which is right now tight end 22. Tight end 22, where his pick range is around 174. So whenever you're thinking about these sleeper guys, you want to think about players that that some of your league mates won't even think about. And Mr. Luke Musgrave is one of those guys who you should consider, especially with Jordan Love being his first year as a starter. He's definitely going to be hitting those dinks and dunks down to Mr. Luke Musgrave. So the next set of sleepers who we have to talk about, we go into that wide receiver room, and we're gonna have to talk about Mr. K Camp. Let us know a little something about Mr. Marvin Mims.
Marvin Mims. So I lost some happened. I lost my notes. I don't know where they're at. My computer's acting up, but we're gonna just go with the flow off the top of my head. I apologize in advance. So Marvin Mims, he was Sean Payton's first pick as head coach with Denver Broncos. He got in the late second round. He's right now he's wide receiver 64. Um, he had a he's 5'11". He runs a 4.4. We're banking on that's what it was. Kenny Hamler, right? KJ Hamler. KJ
Yep.
Hamler is hurt. He's out. Tim Patrick is hurt. He's out. Marvin Mims moves into that wide receiver 3 spot for the Denver Broncos. The Either Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton will be gone in 2024. So that gives him an even higher opportunity to move into wide receiver 2 coming up next year. But I think he will outperform his ADP just for the sheer fact. I think that was Sean Payton's first pick as head coach of the Denver Broncos, and with them losing Tim Patrick and KJ Hamler, he moved their wide receiver 3 spot. So don't sleep on Marvin Mims.
Okay, Mr. Marvin Mims. Everybody, don't y'all be sleeping on Mr. Marvin Mims out there. Go on and stash him up in the late rounds. Where do you think he can end up being? Like, you think he'll be like a flex option potentially, or is he like a bye week filler?
I think right now, I think he's a Bobby filler. I would put him in flex option because he's still wide receiver 3, right? We still need to see what Russell has. Is Russell back? I think he is back. That first game he has to rush, but the second game, it was reported that he was supposed to play like I think maybe 3 or 4 series. He played one
Mm-hmm.
series. So that tells me that Sean Payton saw what he wanted. He's good. Let's get him out of here. Let's get him out. So let's rest him up. So I think that he's got some more faith in Russell Wilson. So yeah, I probably would put him as a flex after, but definitely wide receiver 3 to 4 in that range.
Okay. Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all don't be sleeping up on Mr. Marvin Mims. Go on, stash him up in your draft so he can be that potential wide receiver 3 and 4 for you. And my wide receiver that I had to bring up is Mr. Jahan Dotson. And the reason why I'm bringing up Mr. Jahan Dotson, I know everybody's seen what he did as a rookie. But what you got to remember, this year they got a new OC in Mr. Eric
They
Bieniemy,
do.
and a lot of people have already said that Mr. Jahan Dotson has Tyreek Hill potential in Mr.
Whoa.
Eric Bieniemy's Commanders offense.
Who is
He
they?
has the potential.
You coming
I
up with
can't.
this?
I'm.
Hey, this
They
is
have said that he has Tyreek Hill potential
Tyreek. Is he running like that?
in. They said he has Tyreek Hill potential in this offense, and we all know what Tyreek Hill has done in this Mr. Eric Bieniemy's offense. But also, what you have to realize too is where he's actually being drafted. He's at wide receiver 38.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And his draft position is right around ADP. It's like 73.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're considering Mr. Jahan Dotson, he has the potential to be your wide receiver 3, your lock wide receiver 3, but he can vault up into that low tier 2, potential high tier, low tier 2s, and then like high tier 2s, depending on how he ends up playing with Mr. Sam Howell. And we have seen Mr. Sam Howell has been cooking throughout this preseason.
Yes.
So Sam Howell has got himself back together. People was thinking about, what's going to happen with Sam Howell? Is he really going to perform this year, up and coming? But then you have to realize they have a new OC. Also, with the new OC, they just got a new owner. So Mr. Dan Snyder is out of here.
Get him out of
So
here.
you don't have to worry about that. There's a new philosophy and then a new leadership trying to bring in, and they're trying to plant their stamp this year. They're starting off with Sam Howell. Ron Rivera is already up on the hot seat.
Yeah, he is.
Rivera being on the hot seat right now. That's why they had to bring that OC, Mr. Eric Bieniemy. And with Eric Bieniemy, he is going to put his touch on. He actually wants to show the NFL that no, it wasn't Mr. Andy Reid that was calling all those plays. It was actually myself calling all those plays. I was the one. So he has a big task. But with them having a big task, Jahan Dotson is a guy that you want to grab in your drafts just so you can get a piece of that pie. And let's just say he does turn into Tyreek S, which we already know that is not. That's going to be a tall task. But for him to use him like Tyreek Hill, that is going to be the best thing for that offense, and it's going to open up a lot of windows for Sam Howell, especially with Scary Terry being their number one. Then the backfield, they have Antonio Gibson and then Brian Robinson. The Washington Commanders might be a scary offense if they end up clicking on all cylinders under Eric Bieniemy leading the forefront.
Since you mentioned Scary, also Scary Terry, he has a turf toe or he injured his toe, so those things can linger. So look for Jahan Dotson might even take even more of a step when Scary Terry's out. So yes, definitely sleeper.
Because also last year, you have to remember, he was a rookie last year. And then most rookies, it takes them about a year just to get involved, to adjust into the system. For example, his receptions last year was 35 for 523 yards, average 14.9 yards. That was his average. And then his long was 61 yards, but he had 7 touchdowns. So he had 7 touchdowns in that type of offense that was ran last year, and I think the last OC was,
Don't let me lie.
who was it? It was Shula. No, not Shula. His son was for the Chargers. Or no, his the head coach was
Schottenheimer.
No. He used to be the head coach for the Chargers back in the day.
And ain't Martin Schottenheimer? I thought it was him.
No, it was I forgot what his name was. If y'all remember who the OC was for, he used to be the old Carolina Panthers OC. That's the reason why I know. I just can't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
But his dad used to be the head coach for the Chargers. And
Schottenheimer.
Yeah, go and look that up because his dad used to be head coach for the Chargers before what's the name got there.
Before who?
For Staley got there.
Oh,
he took over for Staley.
Oh, that recent. Okay, I was thinking back in the day with Phillip Rivers. I think it was Schottenheimer.
Like, I think he's been out of the league for at least 5-6 years now.
Anthony Lynn?
No, it was before Anthony Lynn.
But then, who's before Anthony Lynn? Norv Turner.
Okay. Yes, Norv Turner. His son was the OC. Yes, I couldn't see. Good thing for Google, y'all.
Right?
Good thing for Google.
I do remember.
But Norv Turner's son was the OC last year for the Washington Commanders. And since the offense wasn't doing what they wanted to do, that's why they brought in Mr. Eric Bieniemy. And Ron was on the hot seat. So now he can't say, hey, it wasn't my OC.
Right.
So I know we kind of went down like a little tangent here, but y'all do not forget to
John Dotson.
To take on Mr. Jahan Dotson, that potential tier 2 for you that you can put up in your flex and be happy about it. Don't forget Mr. Jahan Dotson, everybody. And our last but not least sleepers that you need to consider. So, Mr. K Camp, you have Mr. Keontae Ingram.
I honestly forgot I had Keontae Ingram when I told you.
Tell me a little something about Mr. Keontae Ingram.
We about to go on top of the dome. I forgot I was supposed to put my nose down, and I didn't put my nose down. We're going to go on top of the dome for Keontae. So Keontae Ingram, they have a defensive head coach. We know that they're going to run the ball, and who's your starting running back? What's his name? What's my man's name?
James Conner.
James Conner's a physical runner. He's bound to get hurt, right? He's bound to get hurt at some point in time. I think he's been hurt every year he's been in the league. Maybe.
He didn't get hurt last year, I don't think.
He didn't?
He didn't get hurt last year. No, he didn't get hurt last year at all.
Interessante. Okay, so yeah, Keontae Ingram. I had my notes. I don't know what happened to him.
Dang, he RB68.
RB68. I can't believe I don't have the notes down for him. But yeah, Keontae Ingram would be my sleeper running back 68. He's a physical runner. He's 6 foot 215. I want to say he ran a 4.4 at the combine. But yeah, he was drafted in the 6th round, and I just think that he can be a pretty good sleeper for the Cardinals.
So are you saying that he is a good sleeper because we think that we're not trying to say players are going to get injured, but that's part of the game. But you're thinking that he's carving himself out that RB2 role within Arizona?
Yeah. He will be starting season. He will be the RB2, no doubt. He will be the RB2 for the Arizona Cardinals.
So with him being that RB2, what kind of give us some type of estimates that you think he can end up doing for them? Because last year he really didn't get that much work. He only had 27 attempts for 60 yards, which is only 2.2 yards a carry. So what do you think he's going to end up doing this year? And he was a 6th round draft pick too as well. So what is it going to take for him to be able to take on that role from Mr. James Conner?
Well, I just think James Conner's getting old in the tooth. I just think he's getting long in the tooth, right? He's with the Steelers, now he's with the Cardinals. He has a bit of an injury history, and I just think that now that Keontae has solidified himself as their RB2. Watch out for him. If Connor goes down, yeah, watch out.
Okay. And we also know that there's a new era out there with the Cardinals, so they are going to be behind. So also, y'all don't be sleeping, man. We know y'all can get sleepy sometimes.
What do defensive head
Don't be
coaches
sleeping
do?
on Mr. They run the ball.
They run the ball and play defense. So, and he's been pretty good in preseason too.
That was your OC though, right? From not OC, the DC from the Eagles.
Is that where he went?
After they
after they leave the Eagles.
That's where he ended up going.
They leave the Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't think about you no more after you leave my team.
Okay.
I mean, I respect Shane Steichen. I appreciate him. He with the coach, so I do want him to do well. But yeah.
Okay.
Who you got as your number 5?
And I had to, my number 5 sleeper out there that I had to bring in a QB up in here. I had to bring in Mr. Jordan Love. J Love, and please don't get me, y'all, but my spelling is off. I misspelled his name.
It's all good.
Jordan.
It's all good.
I misspelled his name, but I'm gonna end up correcting that. But Mr. Jordan Love, this is another guy that I'm actually intrigued on this year. I want to see what he's gonna be able to do, because now everybody knows he's not underneath Mr. Aaron Rodgers anymore. He's actually having his opportunity this year just to be the number 1. But also it comes in a big responsibility, because he is taking over for a legend in Green Bay, similar to the style that happened with Aaron Rodgers taking over for Brett Favre. And with this connection, we all know how everybody is out there up in Green Bay, up in that Wisconsin big cheese state. They love their football. And everybody's been supportive around him this year, saying that he's going to do big things this year. And they've also been talking about, with Jordan Love finally getting the chance just to take over, saying that he has been looking nice up in these preseason games. And with him looking nice in these preseason games, we also think that he's going to be able to take that next step up, but then he's going to be able to put the team on his back this year. And like what I mentioned before, the sleepers that I had was Luke Musgrave. He's going to be relying on Luke Musgrave a lot within this offense. And then also another potential sleeper as well is Mr. Jayden Reed, because he does like throwing to Mr. Jayden Reed in the slots. Did not bring him up on this because I wanted to focus on these two guys right here, but you can also be thinking about getting Mr. Jayden Reed in your dynasty leagues right now. If I was potentially you and you don't have Mr. Jayden Reed on your team, just kick a third rounder to the guy just to see like what he'll do. You might be able to get him for like a 4th rounder, depending on how knowledgeable your league mates are. But if I'm you, I would try to kick some picks just to acquire Mr. Jayden Reed, but because his QB is Mr. Jordan Love. And right now, Mr. Jordan Love is sitting at his ADP. He deep down there. Oh, snap. So he's at QB 20. At his ADP is at 152. I think that could be low for him. I think he has the potential. He might be able to get into, if he plays his cards right and does what I think he can end up doing as a sleeper QB, he has the potential to be a tier 1 QB for you this year.
QB 20 to QB 12 is what you think.
Yeah, I think he has that potential with that offense, and with him taking over, I think he has the potential to vault himself into QB 12 range as long as he continues doing what he's doing and on that same trajectory, like how when Brett Favre was in there and then Aaron Rodgers took off after him, we saw how Aaron Rodgers just took off. I think Jordan Love is going to do the exact same thing, as history repeats itself, and history has been good for Green Bay when it comes to QBs. All the way back to one of their QBs like John Stark or something like that.
Who?
John Stark.
Who's QB?
The Green Bay Packers.
Bart Starr?
Did Bart start? I thought it was Jordan start.
You mean like the who put them on the map? Bart Starr. Bart Starr was some way back in the day when the leagues first started. Oh, yeah, that's Bart Starr. Yeah.
But I really think he's going to end up doing something nice this year.
You think Jordan? I mean, he definitely have a top 5 offensive line. They always do good in Green Bay.
Well, because you got to look at what they have around him right now. So they have at running back, they have Aaron Jones. They have AJ Dillon.
Right.
Now, do not knock me when I'm about to say this.
Here we go, y'all.
I personally think they have a better running back on their team right now.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
That is a rookie. And the reason why I'm saying that, I want to see in this third preseason game, we're going to look to see what he ends up doing. But Emmanuel Wilson, I think Emmanuel Wilson has already carved himself a spot to be on that team. We already know Aaron Jones gets hurt every year. We already know AJ Dillon gets hurt as well. And if Emmanuel Wilson can end up getting that RB3 role in that offense, he might end up taking over that role, similar to how what's the guy's name was before Aaron Jones got there. He was like number 44 or something like that.
Oh, I remember, dude. He just coming out like on third down. I remember, dude.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I gotta find that guy.
I cannot remember his name.
I think he could end up having that. He can end up having that type of role in that offense if he ends up making the team, which I think he's gonna make the team. And then if he does not,
the way he balled out,
if he does not make the team, guys out there, please end up grabbing him and just stash him. If it's on like your practice squad, if it's on your taxi squad, make sure you get some Emmanuel Wilson. The guy has a lot of potential, and he has got his opportunity, and he has already shown what he can do with his opportunity. Yes, we know it was with some third and fourth strings, but he's shown you that potential of what he can do.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure the reason why he's been running with the third and fourth team is because Green Bay's been trying to stash him so he can be up on the practice squad. But the one thing that I can say about that cat, Mr. Emmanuel Wilson, is when the lights are on, the dude is ready to shine. And the dude's been shining. So we are going to run back through the top sleepers who you should be getting up in this year's draft. So we have, going back, we have Mr. Jeff Wilson Jr.
This is
Tank.
If JT don't sign, go ahead.
This is if JT does not sign. Y'all heard him. He had to throw that in there real quick. We got Mr. Tank Bigsby, Mr. Hayden Hurst, Mr. Juwan Johnson, Mr. Jake Ferguson, Luke Musgrave, Mr. Marvin Mims, Mr. Jahan Dotson, and last two but not least, Mr. Keontae Ingram, and then Mr. Jordan Love. Those are the top 10 sleepers that we think you need to be targeting in your rookie drafts, because they can end up doing big numbers for you in this. And we would also like to thank everybody for watching this on YouTube. For everybody that has end up subscribing, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, before you close out, I do want to run through 4 quick players, honorable mentions.
Oh, the honorable mentions? You want to do some honorable mentions?
I'm going to run through them real quick. This wide receiver.
Man, you was like a kid up in the daggone.
Yeah, raise my hand. Hey, don't forget. Hey. The wide receiver from the Cincinnati Bengals, Charlie Jones.
What you know about Mr. Charlie Jones?
Yeah, I do a little research every now and again, just a little bit. He was a 4th rounder this year. We all know that Tyler Boyd will be a free agent next year.
From Purdue.
He's gone. Right now he's playing through a torn labrum, but be on the lookout. He had 4 catches last game, so be on the lookout for Charlie Jones. Right. The other is another Cincinnati wide receiver. I can't pronounce his last name. Andre.
Oh, Mr. Andre Iguodala.
Ego Silvas or something like that. All I
Uh-huh.
know is he's had 20 targets in 2 games. That's all I know. I don't know much about him. Do your research, but AndreIiosilvas. Do your research on him.
So just so you know, I will add that to a slide, everybody. So if you don't know who he's talking about, I will add it so you can see at the very end.
I was like 20
with
targets
some of the honorable mentions.
in 2
Yeah.
games. My third one is Tank Dell. We all know Tank Dell. Tank Dell he's small, he's miniature, but we know that John Mechie's gonna be in the slot, which is pretty much done. And Nico Collins, he's an average big play guy, but Tank Dell has a combination of big playability and low red zone dominance. So look out for him. And last but not least, it's my guy who's also been balling in the preseason. He had a great rookie mini camp. He's been balling in the preseason. I know he does not have an ACL. However, Tyjae Spears, be on the lookout. He was drafted in the 3rd round. We know how Mike Vrabel does. If not, this Derrick Henry is a free agent in 2024. When he leaves, it's going to be all. And if they don't draft a running back next year, it's going to be all hands on deck for Tyjae Spears. And don't be shocked if Derrick Henry gets traded midseason. Like they stink. They start out 3-6 or whatever, 2-6. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody reaching out for Derrick Henry because this is his last year on the contract. So Tyjae Spears, and don't be surprised if Tyjae Spears could be a RB1 in 2024 if they don't draft a running back next year. Those are my 4 sleepers. My 4 sleepers, excuse me.
So would you stash these players? Like, do you think they're going to have potential in this year? Or do you think it's good to stash them for like their potential next year? Once you brought up Mr. Charlie Jones, I had a big smile because up in our rookie draft, I ended up taking him, and I was telling y'all the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that you just said is the reason why I ended up taking him, because I don't expect for him to do anything big this year, but next year is when he's going to take him to the role. And I think that's the reason why they ended up getting 2 young rookie wide receivers, because they know they're not going to be able to pay T. Higgins.
Oh, so
they need.
You only going to pay T. Higgins?
I don't think they're going to pay T. Higgins because you got to also pay Jamar Chase.
Right, but I think.
And didn't they pay Burrow yet or no?
That's how we're gonna know. Depends on what Joe Burrow takes. If Joe Burrow takes,
I don't think they.
But Justin Herbert took the biggest, largest contract. If he takes like the next up, you're right. They will not be able to pay T. Higgins, and I'm sure they're going Jamar Chase over T. Higgins. So it depends on if Joe Burrow takes the pay. If he takes a pay cut, I think they'll pay and keep T. Higgins. If not, T. Higgins is going because I think they see Jamar Chase as the one. He's the alpha.
Well, Jamar Chase is the alpha, and with that being said, they drafted 2 rookie tight ends just to get groomed underneath Jamar Chase, underneath the wide receiver room.
So
that's the reason why I think Charlie Jones and Mr. Andre is going to end up vaulting into next year to be in those potential wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 position behind Mr. Jamar Chase.
The only person,
and they might just. And I just think they're just going to get rid of him. But I also think, now I'm just saying this right now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the backup QB situation for the Browns and then the backup QB for the Raiders.
Oh, yeah. I didn't put his name
Mr. DTR.
DTR Aiden.
And then Mr. Aiden, is it O'Connell?
O'Connell.
Is that his last name?
Aiden O'Connell.
Mr. Aiden O'Connell did his thing in college at Purdue. And the boy has been looking nice in these preseason games.
Yes.
And he's been showing Mr. What's the head coach up in the Vegas? Mr. Josh Daniels.
Josh McDaniels, yeah.
He's been showing him that he can actually burn. So don't be shocked if Mr. Jimmy G gets his job taken from him.
Let Jimmy G go down. It's a wrap. Getting it back.
And you see what number they gave him too.
I was like, See, I think that's a
That's
little
a
bit disrespectful to Derek Carr, who should
that's
probably be
that
in the Raider Ring of Honor, right? Damn, but
that's that. Wait a minute.
that's definitely way to be like,
That's a
that's a disrespectful, that bro.
that's a wait a minute moment right there where you just hold
Already
on.
go
What?
2 minutes.
He ain't even packed his bags and they already gave that jersey away
He
to him.
ain't sold his house yet.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
But-
He ain't giving his number away. Like, damn.
But that's the reason. That's one guy. I don't think he's going to do big numbers. But if y'all are out there up in like Superflex or something like that, he would be a nice stash to actually have, because I do think he's going to take over Mr. Jimmy G. And then I said Mr. DTR because he has been balling for the Cleveland Browns. But with him, we know they did pay Mr. Deshaun Watson all that money. And with them paying him all that money, they going to let him be the starter. But let Mr. Deshaun Watson go down.
Oh, yeah.
And then he comes in balling. It's going to be a big talk up in the Cleveland Browns area.
They're in good hands.
But they are. But those are the honorable mentions, and those are the top 10 sleepers that we think you should end up drafting in your dynasty, redraft, fantasy football leagues for 2023. We thank y'all for watching this episode 11, The Sleepers. Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, give us a 5-star ratings out there on the Apple Podcast. And don't forget that our podcast drops every Tuesday at 6:30 in the morning. Every Tuesday at 6:30 in the morning. And then if you want to watch it up on the video form, you can watch it on our YouTube channel, which is powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports, which the website should be launching pretty soon. Let's go. We're gonna wait for a little bit because the Cerberus Fantasy Sports has actually been helping us with some of our stats and everything up on the back end. But that website should be launching soon, and it's going to be catering to the people out there up in the campus, the Canton area, for the college and fantasy football league. So go and give them a check out. Right now, they've been writing articles down up in the weeds and everything, just putting out good content. But don't forget just to check them out. And we also want to thank everybody for taking the time to even watch the video, because for y'all watching the video and then listen to the podcast, we are truly gracious and then appreciate it. And if there's anything that you want to see us do different, let us know down up in the comments. We are very interactive. We just want to know. We're trying to get better each and every episode. We want to just tell us what you want to listen to and then how we can get better. And we'll do the best that we can. And eventually, once we start getting more subscribers, it's easy. Just go and click that like button. Just hit subscribe. Eventually, down the road, we're going to start giving away some prizes and everything based off the determine like how many likes we end up getting. Shoot, might be giving away jerseys, might be giving away posters, hoodies, T-shirts, footballs signed by some of the guys that you like out there, like Mr. Jamar Chase, like a Mr. Justin Jefferson, maybe like a Joe Burrow, and things like that. But we'd like to thank y'all once again. I'm your host, Mr. Christian _CFS, and our co-host is Mr. K Camp.
We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate y'all. Peace out.
Peace out.
Thanks for checking out another episode of Cerberus Gridiron Podcast, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode.